Oh, okay. My name is Ira Wallace, and I live mostly at Acorn Community, but I'm a member also of Twin Oaks Community here in Central Virginia, and I'm 60 years old. I'll be 61 this year. Well, the whole issue of maintaining a gender balance has is a problem in our income sharing type communities. It's not so much a problem in places where people come as families and build their own homes. It can be, but not so much. Uh, but this kind of place where you don't have to make a buy-in and where you can, come pretty easily. More men are willing to do that. Just say, "Oh, I'll try it." There's, nothing to lose. I used to do visitor correspondence. Women on the average took like 18 months to visit from the first time that you talked to them. Some would come quickly, but others would take like 3 years. Men took 6 months. So, all things being equal, you have twice as many men who are ready to just show up. And in the early years of the community, when it's less stable, it's even more that way. And at East Wynn, they chose not to do anything sort of in an organized way to try to rectify that. And at Acorn, we do various and sundry things to try. Well, one of which is often not accepting male visitors. I just heard a funny story about how that looks on the outside. And and it somewhat helps. I mean, the things that help the most actually have to do with just trying to get the community more stable. At but at Twin Oaks, they had this gender balance rule, and they pretty much have stuck to that, like in terms of membership, and not so. I mean, and actually had a visitor manager who there wasn't a rule men couldn't visit. They just would say we are going to have an equal gender balance in visitor groups, and so it was more likely that you could visit when you wanted if you were a female than if you're a male. Yeah, so it's definitely a tough thing, and living near Twin Oaks, because of women on average liking stability more, it's more likely that women will come to Acorn and live for a while and move to Twin Oaks, because it's just more stable and comfortable and cleaner, even though it's not exactly the cleanest place in the world. I mean, oh my goodness.
Not the cleanest place in the world. No one's suffering from obsessive compulsive cleanliness.
I was thinking that's a big difference between Twin Oaks and Acorn in our communities and Kibbutz. Kibbutz is really clean, and reasonably orderly. And it's not exactly that way here. I mean, it's not so bad, but it's a little bit of a problem. And actually, it's hard at Acorn because I say, having it be clean, having good meals, and having people take time, even though I'm not very good that way, take time for recreational activities, affect women joining and wanting to stay around much more so. One of the things that we've done that actually has changed the day-to-day situation on the ground is accept interns. 2 to 1. women will sign up to be an intern for 3 months or 6 months who would never decide to join a commune quickly like that. And so, if you're looking around Acorn, it looks pretty even in the gender balance, but like, say right now we have 4 women members and 8 men, and almost all the interns are women. So it's there. I had always thought that people would be nice about this and explain this whole situation and not be all mean to people. But, that's funny because that happened in Twin Oaks years ago. I mean, somebody got fired from being the visitor manager because someone eventually actually came as a guest who had gotten the rough end of that stick. So that's why I was like, who did that? Who did that? Oh well. And it's an ongoing problem, and at least Twin Oaks didn't really right itself until most of the physical plant was built, and the community was reasonably financially stable. Right.
Energy in your life.
But it is kind of crazy. Like, for a short while, I was the only woman member, and that's happened probably 3 times. I mean, this is why at some point when I realized that women would come as interns, that I more or less insisted we have an intern program. I thought, this place is too crazy. I mean, I actually like working with guys because, my personal work style is a little bit more that way. What one might call a traditional guy thing. I just like to do what I'm going to do and get it done. And so it's okay. But I find the place is nicer when the gender balance is more even. Although there's some pretty good homemakey guys. And actually that helps. If we have more men than women, if some of those men are better at homemaking than your average guy, that definitely helps the situation. But anyway.
Out of curiosity, any queer men, gay men, bi men, genderqueer?
Well,
I'm just kind of curious if that
I'm trying to think.
Or is it all alpha male type?
Well, that's a good question. There's a couple of guys who are, I don't know. I think they're bi in that out of college kind of questioning way.
Yeah, trisexual maybe.
They'll
try anything.
Yeah, that kind of thing. No, they're kind of like the kind of guys who are they consider themselves feminist, and they consider it, I think, politically incorrect to make a predetermined determination about whether you would or would not, be involved in a certain way with a person based on their gender. So, but I can't, when people are like that, I can't tell whether their attractions or their politics or their ruling thing. Because if it's their politics, they probably will move away from that over time. If it's just politics. So, anyway. So there haven't been very many gay men at Acorn. Probably 4 or 5 in 13 years. Yeah.